Good evening, everyone. I'm Chuck Bell, meteorologist with NBC4 here in Washington, D.C., and I'm proud to welcome you to the 34th annual Bark Ball. Tonight, we're bringing you the Bark Ball two different ways, virtually from the comfort of your home and in person at the Washington Hilton. We've never done this before, and we're excited that you're a part of this very special evening, no matter how you're participating. Because we've gone virtual, I'd like to welcome all of our guests that are outside of the D.C. metro area. Bark Ball is for everyone, and we're happy to have you here with us. For those of you gathered at the Washington Hilton, how great is it to be celebrating together once again? As we take a small step back to in-person events, your attendance with us tonight means a lot. Thank you for joining us. So tonight, we are going to bring you some wonderful stories of animals and the people who love them. We can all relate to that and the special love that everybody shares with their animals, whether they're our beloved family members or an animal in need of help or a home. We all share one thing, the love for an animal in our life. Humane Rescue Alliance here in Washington, D.C., and the St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center in New Jersey have ensured that 4,500 animals have been adopted into loving homes this year. Even with the continuing pandemic this year, our shelter staff have continued the great work of finding loving homes for animals in need, and isn't that wonderful? And before we get too much further down, it is my turn to introduce to you our newest family member. This is Kyle. Kyle is an 18-month-old Ibizan hound, and he has been a part of our family for almost 2 whole days now. We just got him this week, and as you can tell, he is alert and he is excited to meet everybody and do everything here in Washington. He's going to be living the good life with us, and it's the first time I've ever adopted a non-puppy. It has been nice to have somebody that's housebroken, but we have still to work on some of our jumping issues. But he is a good boy, and I now can attest to the value of adopting a full-grown dog. All right, tonight, as we mentioned, you're going to hear stories about animals, people, and community. And these 3 words are intertwined and fit together like pieces of a puzzle. Animals play an important role in our lives, and people are critical to caring for the animals we love. Our community of HRA supporters also plays a critical role in how HRA supports both animals and the people who love them. One of the ways you can support the Humane Rescue Alliance tonight is by making a donation so their dedicated staff can continue the great work they do on a daily basis. Any amount is appreciated and will go a long way to help care for the thousands of animals the HRA staff care for each year. Let's help HRA help more animals in need. Shall we make a donation tonight? Yes, please. With that said, it's time to get things started. Enjoy these wonderful stories as the 34th annual Bark Ball kicks off right now.
Good evening. I'm Lisa LaFontaine, the CEO of the Humane Rescue Alliance, and we are so glad you've joined us tonight. At HRA, we touch the lives of over 120,000 animals each year, and each one of those animals is part of an ecosystem that involves people as well: families, individuals, neighbors, and communities. Our tagline is Animals, People, Community, and we chose those words carefully. They express a notion that we see represented in our work each day, that the lives and well-being of animals, people, and communities are interconnected, and that by investing in one part of this ecosystem, we can uplift everyone, human and animals alike. Tonight's program is a celebration of that system and of all those we serve. I've always believed that animal welfare is the sum of many parts, much like a puzzle is the sum of its pieces. It takes all of us working together to create a humane and compassionate community where animals and the people who love them can thrive together. This past year has challenged us in ways we could never have imagined. With the help of friends, old and new, we were able to build new muscles and create new programs, approaches, and efficiencies that will long outlive this pandemic. Through your support, we also increased our capacity to serve animals, sister shelters, and communities near and far. Our field services team in D.C. and New Jersey stayed on the road 24/7. They continued to investigate cases of cruelty and saved animals from harm's way, responding to more than 17,000 calls for help. We expanded families by adopting nearly 8,000 animals into loving homes, and we moved hundreds more from crisis to care through our transport program. Together with churches, food banks, mutual aid networks, and human service organizations, we distributed 200,000 pounds of free pet food, filling 500,000 empty food bowls with meals. And beyond our local struggles, we stepped in to help animals and colleagues in the path of natural disasters, as we always do. In September, when Hurricane Ida slammed into Louisiana and wreaked havoc in her path, our friends at the Louisiana SPCA reached out to us for help. We deployed a team of specially trained responders to help with their disaster relief efforts on the ground. Our folks made their way through downed power lines and rubble to respond to emergency calls, including from someone who had seen a dog trapped underneath a collapsed shed. When we rushed to the scene, we found a frightened dog chained inside of the shed and tangled under debris. He had probably been trapped there since Ida made landfall 4 days earlier. He was terrified in the sweltering heat, and he had no food or water. Our team carefully lifted the shed enough so they could guide the dog out from the rubble and free him from the chain he was on. Thankfully and miraculously, Bubbles wasn't injured. Our way station team also leapt into action, working with our partners at Greater Good Charities to airlift animals out of Louisiana. That allowed local organizations to have more shelter space where pets who were injured or displaced could get loving care until they were reunited with their families. And then, only days later, remnants of Hurricane Ida hit our communities in New Jersey with a force. Tornadoes, record rainfall, and flooding left the region under a state of emergency. Our disaster response team was tapped once again, this time to help our own communities where we live and work. As the storm moved out of our region, we helped animals in distress, we distributed food, cat litter, and other pet supplies, and we helped sister organizations throughout New Jersey who had experienced flooding and power outages themselves and needed critical supplies. A community-based approach to helping animals and people has been at the heart of our mission since we were founded over 150 years ago. And this year especially has reinforced the importance of that networked approach as we've linked arms with our community partners, supporters, and volunteers to make sure there are no gaps in service and that we're doing as much good as we possibly can. Tonight is a celebration of all those relationships, integrated like pieces of a puzzle, that provide us with the support, energy, strength, reach, and courage to tackle the most difficult issues facing animals and the people who love them, in our own communities and beyond.
My cats, Suju and Number, they are brilliant. I mean, we love them. It was really our first time to have a pet at home. I never imagined that I would love an animal that much, but everything got changed. Like within a couple of weeks, having Number, I mean, the way Number was like treating us, coming to us and giving all that love to us. These cats are now part of our family. They mean a lot to us. They are like my kids.
When we come from school, he starts coming to us too, and we hug him, we kiss him. Then I go to Suju too, and I do the same thing.
He means a lot to me. He's like family to us now.
During the pandemic, I know it was tough for all of us, but I was thinking that if we haven't had Suju and Number, it would have been tougher. They always come to you, sit with you, and you feel that someone is always there with you. They were like, releasing the stress that I had due to this pandemic.
When we couldn't play with our friends, when our cats were there, we could play with them. So that's what made us happy. At least we can play with our cats.
We've been having a really tough time, all Afghans all over the world. This is again a stress reliever for us. I mean, I'm happy that I have these cats watching news and all that. Sometimes I don't want to watch, and then the cat comes to me. They don't let you feel alone. They are your friends forever. Yeah, they actually rescued us, especially me, myself. Yeah, so these cats rescued me.
Animals are so important because to me, they remind us that we are all part of something so much bigger. We are all in this interconnected world together. The past few years, I had lost sight of that big picture. And it was my involvement with HRA that nudged me back to the realization that I'm part of something much bigger than I can fully comprehend. And it was adopting Nigel that serves as a daily reminder that even when the day-to-day overwhelms me, or when I forget about everything else besides the grind, or when I get stuck in a rut, that's not everything. I don't know what challenges he may have faced in his former life before being surrendered to HRA, but just looking at him gives me this hope and this sense of resiliency. We got Nigel, and I think we became a family when we got Nigel. He really is our child, and he grounds us in a way that I think is just so impactful, and it's been so helpful, especially while we've been stuck at home during the pandemic. We know that we have each other to rely upon. He gives us this perspective on life and how to keep persevering through it. He was our daily companion. He was, apart from us, the only other living being that we were interacting with and seeing on a regular basis. He's just got this cheerful disposition on life every single day. So that grounding was essential to me. I don't think I would have learned that if I didn't have Nigel at home, showing me that it might be all dark outside, but it doesn't have to be like that inside, and that we can make our own joy, even in the midst of national and global tragedy. He's been an absolute lifesaver for us in the pandemic, but it's this sense of family, community, togetherness, and belonging. That's what Nigel gave us.
As folks struggled with social isolation and being separated from friends and family during the pandemic, we were lucky to have a front row seat where we could see so many people experience joy, companionship, laughter, and love as they spent time with their pets. And while adoptions last year were through the roof, there are still so many precious animals in our care who rely on your support. We'll introduce you to a few of them tonight and share their amazing stories.
So Kim, can you tell me who this is?
Yes, this is Mutilda. Mutilda is a very active puppy.
She is.
She's very active. She came to HRA as a stray, and she's adorable. She definitely could work on her manners. Lots of energy. Lots of puppy energy.
Yes. Do we have any services for dogs with lots of energy as well as puppies?
We totally do. We offer behavior classes. We have puppy training classes. They're offered, in person if that's what you'd like. I think they also have some virtual options that you can take part in as well. But Mutilda could just really benefit from, she's a puppy, so she definitely could use some training. She's adorable. She is about 10 months old. And yeah.
Great. I love that we have both virtual and in-person options for people just to make sure we're accommodating.
Yes.
So if I was interested in adopting, how would I go about doing that?
Absolutely. So you would just need to fill out an application online, and one of our adoptions counselors would reach out to you to set up a time for you to meet Mutilda virtually. And find out from there if she would be a good fit for what you're looking for in a dog.
That's great. Yeah, she definitely is. I love a puppy. I love lots of energy to go running.
Yes, so. Absolutely. Definitely. She's a really sweet girl. She has a lot of energy to burn off.
Yeah.
So yeah, she would make a really great partner for somebody who has a more active lifestyle and, who would be a good fit for her.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I like it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Good
Yeah.
information.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Charlie. Charlie is a 3-month-old kitten here at HRA. And like Charlie, we have tons of kittens that come through our doors every year. Kittens make amazing pets, and we highly encourage people to adopt 2 kittens at once. Besides being tons of entertainment and extra love, they keep each other company, and it also helps on behavior issues that kittens might have, the scratching of the furniture, because they have themselves to play with. So consider adopting a kitten like Charlie and a pal as well. Maybe Charlie and Charlie Brown or Charlie and Snoopy.
So who is this? This is Saint.
Aw, how old is Saint?
Saint is about 8 months old. And he just came to HRA when they discovered, unfortunately, that someone in the family has an allergy to him. He's a purebred boxer puppy.
Clearly Muggle Bunny.
Totally.
Hi. You're super, super affectionate and cute.
So he is just a puppy. So we have training classes that could help with, you know, getting him to be more confident or, you know, working on his manners.
And is he available for adoption?
He is available for adoption. He thinks he's a lap dog. He's about 60 pounds right now. And he's available for adoption. He's not yet been fixed, but that is one of the services that HRA provides before we send a dog home to their family.
As well as all the vaccinations needed.
Absolutely, yes.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Can I have a kiss?
He's a good boy. So if someone is interested in him, they can go on the website, fill out an application, and our adoptions counselors will get in touch.
I feel like he's going to be very popular.
I think so.
Oh, you're so cute. Look at that face. So cute.
He's a sweet boy.
Hi, so I'm Kimberly, and this is Trickster. Trickster's had a little bit of a rough life coming to us. He just had both of his eyes removed recently, but he's doing amazing recovering. He's the sweetest boy, and he's just one example of the many animals that come to us with challenging circumstances that, you know, that's why we're an open access shelter. So any animal could come to us for any reason, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that they get all the love and care that they need while they're looking for a new family.
At HRA, we have long known that people consider animals to be members of the family, but the pandemic affirmed that across our society. In those early, uncertain days, we prepared for an influx of pets coming in from COVID-impacted households, but those animals never came. I've been deeply moved by the sacrifices people have made to keep their pets, despite tremendous life challenges. We made a commitment to use every resource at our disposal to support their efforts, with the goal of keeping families together. Our work has the most impact and the most sustainability when we can serve people and animals as a family unit, which is only possible through our incredible partnerships with our donors and volunteers, elected officials, human service agencies, law enforcement, veterinary practices, and other animal-centric organizations. Next, you'll see some of the wonderful programs that help animals by supporting their people too.
Our work is centered on our belief that you can't help animals without supporting people too. And people say I'm great with people, and I never really thought about it that way. I just thought I was being compassionate, giving people dignity and respect, which I think is something basic that everyone deserves.
I love Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown taught me a lot. She really has. I grew up loving animals. I had pets all my life. They're just within me, within my heart. I love them. Like, these are my kids.
So Ms. Carolyn has been with the HOPE program since probably the beginning, 2014, 2015. She loves animals. She loves people. She really has a heart for her community.
They just came and I said, okay. I just stopped putting food down, and here I have a bunch of them now. And they know me, so they're my babies. They just all keep me uplifted. When I have a bad day sometimes, like, I just come out here and I just look at them like I'm about to cry right now. Just talking about them. But that's how I am with them. I love it. Because of where we live, it's so hard to try to really get cat food and dog food for people. And every time I need food, Ms. Brown be just, that's just a blessing because everybody don't have an income. And the income they do have in this community is not that much. So that pantry is a lot of help.
From housing restrictions to pet care deserts to very expensive veterinary care, people in DC and beyond face a variety of barriers to their ability to provide care for their pet family members. We're finding creative ways to combat those barriers, whether it's providing low-cost veterinary care, distributing free pet food or other supplies, fighting against housing discrimination, or providing temporary care in a crisis situation for pets.
Here in New Jersey, we face the same barriers, and at St. Hubert's, we do everything we can to keep people and their pets together. Since the pandemic, our work has never stopped. We go door to door and talk to families in need. We go to the areas where families are going to need our services.
So I know that our clients appreciated the services because they always came out when it was raining, snow, sleet.
All my neighbors who, through the whole pandemic, we still have our dogs. So we didn't have nothing else. We had our faith in our pets. I mean, they're family, right? You start downsizing and accommodating your bills. The dogs was never part of that accommodation. It's like, it wasn't even a discussion. We're gonna keep our dogs no matter what happened. I can call Shaq at any time, and I never received an answer saying no. It's never a no, no matter when my constituents reach out to her. Coco and Louis means a lot to me. Family, love, faith, strength, encouragement. I bought this condo 3.5 years ago, and because of the structural issues, the government came in and said that we would have to move. So it's just been a lot, especially through the pandemic. So even though I have to move, the security that I have you all, I have Shaq, I'm not worried.
Animal welfare doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's so dependent on what's happening within the community. In addition to all the direct care work that we do at the Humane Rescue Alliance, working on policy changes is so important because you're addressing some of the systemic and institutional issues that relate to pet ownership.
This year, we partner with the DC Department of Aging and Community Living to combat senior isolation by providing a connection point with animals and being a resource to ensure a high quality of life for DC seniors and their animals.
I think one of the challenges with loneliness and isolation is that it's really hard to say I'm lonely. It's really hard to say I'm by myself and I need some help. But if you say, hey, here's an opportunity where you can see a dog or a chicken or whatever the animal, you don't have to say you're lonely. You can just say, I like animals and I'd like to show up. And you get that same connection. And maybe that's the bridge to another program that we have.
I have a lot of elderly people around here. And so I turned them on to Miss Brown and the pantry. A lot of them can't get out to go get cat food or dog food. They like wheelchair bound, or no car, no family, so it's like we're their family that can help them with their animals.
I always say it's 90% people, 10% animals, because at the end of the day, you're communicating with the people to help them to help care for their pets or help them to get services for their pets.
This is Max.
Oh, Max.
So sweet.
How old is he?
So he's just a puppy, couple months old. Look at these paws. He's gonna be a big, big boy. So we, often get dogs or puppies, and puppies can be such a great, starter for a family. Dog, they have so much energy, and we have so many great resources here at HRA that can help you with a puppy. I got my dog as a puppy, and had so many questions about how often are they supposed to go to the bathroom? How often are they supposed to eat? When are they supposed to be sleeping? All that kind of stuff, and give you kind of great pointers about how to train them, potty train them, how to train them to tell you that they need to go to the bathroom or that they're hungry and that kind of stuff. So HRA has lots of great resources about that. And like I said, puppies are a great family starter dog, because they have the energy, they are ready to be trained, they're ready to please.
So it sounds like a lot of work having a puppy.
It really can be, but HRA sets you up with really good resources. They'll tell you where to get, bowls and food, the type of food that he's been used to eating, the right leashes to use, because we have leashes that we recommend. And then if you have any more questions, we have our training services, our behavior services. So we're definitely a resource here after you take a puppy home. You know, just if you have any other questions, because things will come up. And puppies are just so great. Yes. Yes. They're just, you know, so snuggly and so soft.
Such a cute face.
Yeah.
You're so playful.
You're so boop, boop.
Well, it sounds like then you would be in good hands
Absolutely.
with HRA.
Yes. Definitely.
Oh, baby boy.
Hi there, we're in Kitty City, and this is Kiki. He's a 16-year-old cat, although he's not acting like it. He's young at heart for sure. He's beautiful, white-colored kitty. We have so many different types of animals that come to the Humane Rescue Alliance, and we take in every single one. So cats like Kiki, who are 16 years old, or newborn kittens who are just 1 day old. We're there for them, here to make sure that they find their perfect family and their perfect match. And so Kiki is looking for just the perfect family. I think he'd do really well with a patient home, a really quiet home. He's sort of a big boy, so he's about 15 pounds, maybe a little bit more, but he's super sweet, purring up a storm, and we're just excited to find him a new home.
So this is AJ.
Yes. Hi, AJ.
AJ is an awesome boy. He already knows some tricks. Good job. Good job. Our staff and our trainers have been working with him to teach him some tricks. He's a real sweetheart.
Smart boy.
He is a smart boy.
So, if somebody already has a dog and they want to bring another dog into their house, how do you go about doing something like that?
Well, it's really important to figure out, you know, the best dog that is going to complement your family and complement your current dog.
Yeah.
So at HRA, we do dog introductions to see how the dogs in the shelter do with other dogs.
Yeah.
So we can let you know if the dog that you're interested in is one that's good with other dogs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have a dog that is, you know, the house is hers, and she might be a little hesitant to welcome another dog into the house. Are there resources here that can help with things like that?
Tons.
Yeah.
Yes, we hear that all the time.
Yeah.
People need to, you know, just your first inclination might be to, you know, just bring the dogs into the home together and see how they do, but that's not always the best solution. So slow and steady, right, exactly. So our team can help you figure out the best way to introduce your resident dog with the new addition to your family.
Awesome. Yeah. And 2 dogs are better than 1.
Oh, there's always room for 1 more dog.
Good boy.
Hi, this is Frankie. Frankie is one of our kittens. He's about 7 months old. As everybody knows, it's a little bit harder for our black cats to get adopted, so we like to give them lots of attention and love. He's really sweet and snuggly, very curious, as you can see. And he's ready to go to a new home. He's just waiting for his forever family.
I've always said that animals are connectors and social lubricants. I love to see how people who would otherwise have very little in common make connections and build relationships through their pets, and I see it all the time. One especially bright spot throughout the pandemic has been watching our team of foster parents support one another. Early on, we put out a call for foster families to help us transition as many of our animals as possible into foster homes. Thousands of people responded, nearly 2,400. Many of them had never fostered before. And then something magical happened. Experienced foster caregivers took new fosters under their wings. Supplies were dropped on porches, and late-night video calls were arranged to answer questions, troubleshoot problems, and build confidence. Their journeys were shared on social media, the joys of adoption and how to let go. Each day, I watched this group rise to support one another, cheer one another on, and provide comfort and solutions when things didn't go as planned. In this next video, you'll meet some of our dedicated foster families and you'll see for yourself how this incredible network is changing the future of how we shelter animals.
I fostered 4 dogs, 3 of which I found homes for, but Bear, well, he stayed with me. I was home, I wasn't going to be going to the office as much, so I knew that I had even more time to give to a dog. And so figured that was especially going to be helpful for a dog that needed added attention when they're in this foster phase. So that was the reason I signed up to be a foster. At a time of immense stress and uncertainty, having a dog there that just kind of shows you that there's joy in every moment has been really, really wonderful.
We've always had a robust foster program here at HRA, and we're placing about 20% of our animals in foster homes. And we've seen that number to grow to 50 to 60% of our animals in foster homes. And I just see our community growing and our ability to provide more services and support to animals in the shelter grow. Fostering is really important for a lot of different reasons. One, because we know animals do better in homes and we get more realistic information about animals. So it gives us great information for adopters, but it's also great for animal stress levels because it can be a little bit stressful in the shelter, and it gives them a break, allows people to help in a really meaningful way. And so they get to contribute to saving the life of an animal.
My experience with HRA has been super easy. From filling out the first application to going through orientation and the helpful videos and resources that exist, from signing up on deck to meeting my first puppy to having the support of the resource team, the caseworker team, the behavioral specialist. It's been great.
As a case manager for HRA, I work as a liaison between the foster and the shelter. I basically am there to guide them through the whole process from the very first day they take the animal home until the animal gets adopted. One day it just hit me. I used to always sit there and say, oh, I wish I could volunteer. I got my very first adult foster that year, and it was like a 13-year-old grumpy old cat. And then after that, I just decided to keep fostering because, I just fell in love with it. HRA's foster community is great. Everybody helps each other out. Anytime you need help, you can just reach out and somebody will almost always volunteer to help.
As a community, they are so incredible. I think it's one of the best things about fostering for HRA is that you have a group of thousands of other foster parents who, if you need help with anything at all, they are there in a heartbeat to help you out. They are so compassionate, so giving. They make sure that animals have baths and stuffed toys and the exact food that they like. And that's what you want to see for all of our animals. Our foster families really do give us a priceless service here at HRA.
Putting a puzzle together requires patience, foresight, and vision. You need each individual piece to complete the whole picture. Through your support and generosity, we are positioned to help even more animals, support more families, and advocate for greater protections and networks for animals and the people who love them. We are very hopeful about the future of animal welfare and are using the lessons of this extraordinary and difficult time to reimagine our work. We are questioning old assumptions, trying new approaches, and tackling head-on some of the most challenging issues facing animals and their caregivers. The animals need us to do this, and so do the people. After all they have done to keep their pets, we want to be there for them now to preserve those family bonds. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for joining us tonight and making all of this pioneering work possible.
What an incredible program this has been. From the shelter animals and stories of how animals have changed people's lives through the pandemic to the generosity of each and every one of you. You've helped us raise a tremendous amount of money to support all of HRA's programs and services, which provide care for animals and the people who love them throughout our community. I've been honored to join you this evening from here in Washington, D.C. I hope you have enjoyed the program wherever you've been watching it from and feel that you are now part of the Humane Rescue Alliance family. We all fit together like pieces of a puzzle, and HRA wouldn't be complete without each and every one of you. Let's continue to celebrate the Humane Rescue Alliance, not just tonight, but throughout the year. HRA has a variety of ways you can connect, from volunteering, fostering, attending events, and donating. We are all Team HRA. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you again on behalf of everyone at Humane Rescue Alliance. Good night for me and Kyle.